Thanks for clicking on the video today. We're here to talk about moving our summer tubs back indoors. Now, at this point in the year, which is mid to late October, we've got some cold weather coming in here in my area in North Georgia, and you'll see by this weather report I'll throw up on the screen right here. I've got a couple of days, it being Friday right now, to get these more sensitive fish back inside somewhere where it's heated before the wintertime temperatures come around. Now, for most of the year and for most of the country, you can get away with keeping these guppies that I'm bringing in outside really a majority of the year. I've had them out since about April, maybe May, early May, late April, somewhere in there. Anytime that the temperatures are consistently above 50 degrees. For me here in Georgia, I have no problem keeping a variety of fish, tropical fish, outside. Once May, June, July, it's plenty hot enough. But around April, into April, early May, I can move them out. But here we are, getting towards the end of October. It's time to bring them back in. So that's what we're going to go over today. I'm going to show you a little bit of that, and then we'll come back in and talk about how we've got them set up. Here we are at the onset of fall, and I've got to make some decisions and get some things done about a couple of these tanks. Now, I've let a couple of them go here lately purposefully. Particularly this tank, I've let a lot of water evaporate, and I got almost all of the little fishies out of there, except for a couple. And I'll get them out soon. But this is a under gravel filter tank with only gravel that has done really, really well this year outside with only natural sunlight, and it's in basically full shade. But what we're here to talk about, what you clicked on this video to see, excuse me, is what do we do with our tubs at the end of summer? And this tub right here is particularly complicated. I've got a lot of things to do and a few things to consider and worry about. This tub is very old. I've had it running for almost 4 years, and it's had this just strain of random guppies that have done really, really well. They're just really a colorful, healthy line that has been going of no particular strain. And you see the plants are very lush and healthy. That purple waffle plant is a little washed out because it actually gets too much light out here. But the complication here is because I do have plants outside of the water, and I have a ton of plants inside. If you watch my plant room or my fish room tour, you'll notice that I have a ton of house plants. But here we've got these guys outside of the water that have been outside. This is on the edge of my carport. That's my vehicle right there, and this is shaded, so it only gets morning light. That's where the sun rises, right over in there where all my kids' toys are. And it gets these guys, and they grow just fine right here. But when I'm bringing it in, I don't want to take this in with the amazing amount of wildlife that's in it. And you can see it's got some spider webs in there, but it's not just the spiders that I'm worried about. It's any kind of little pests that might be living in that fig, that creeping fig, or on this peace lily. There's probably a ton of spider mites, maybe some mealy bugs and stuff. So what I've got to do right now before I bring this in is try to get this unrooted from the substrate down in the actual tub here without ruining everything. Now I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to drain most of the water out of this. I've already let most of it evaporate. The sponge filter is just barely pumping out any circulation. But again, we knew what was coming, so I'll let it happen. I'm going to try to get these guys out. I'm going to video this and do it in sped up so you guys don't have to watch the painfulness of it. I'm going to get these guys out, try to save these plants because they do all look good. They're doing just fine out here, but they will die in the winter if I don't take them in. But they've got to be treated either with an insecticidal soap or sprayed off really, really well. I can't just take them in the house. They will definitely spread stuff I don't want. Now, as you see down in that pot, down in that tub pot, there is a giant pot in there. Down in the tub, we've got a lot of Ludwigia and Anubias in there that's got some algae on it, but the Ludwigia is looking great. We got a healthy ecosystem that's thriving down in there. So let me put this back on the tripod and get some work done. See what happens here. For you folks that are new to this, that are just joining to get some education on this, I'm about to drain most of the water out of this little tub here, and I'm doing that with a covered siphon. So it's got a little screen on the other side so it doesn't suck any of these fish out. And I'm gonna get most of it out and then pull these plants out and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so didn't take too long. I'm sure it was sped up for y'all. The terrestrial plants, the ficus, the fig, I guess, and the peace lily and the purple waffle came out real easy. They weren't really rooted into the substrate much at all, which made it very simple. I've had years before where it really kind of messed the whole tub up. But as you see in there, I left enough water to where everybody's got plenty of time. We can take an hour or two if I needed to move this around, figure out where it's going to go, get everything situated. So that's what I've got to do next, is actually get this situated in my room where I want it, because I can't quite decide. Really, I don't have a good place for it. It needs to have access to air, because I do run at least an air stone, but I run a sponge filter in it. So I need it to have access to my main pump. I need it to have some light, because these plants are quite healthy and they've been living for a while, so I don't want it to just die out. Again, that tank just looking great. I really hate to tear it down. It's got those red dragon guppies that were in there, and we're going to talk more about that in another video. Anyway, let me get this moved inside and we'll talk about it some more then. Now what I'm doing is just really spraying this plant off super aggressively with a water hose, just to wash any kind of pests that may be on it away. So I've got it situated over here. I think this is where it's going to sit for the rest of the winter. I'll get the plants moved back around it here in a minute so it doesn't look as kind of weird. And yes, that sponge filter is just sitting on top of that pot. I'm going to move it once I get it filled up with water, but I cleaned that guy for them. And I got their plant washed really well, so there's a lot of beneficial bacteria living in there, in that sponge that it's sandwiched between, and in the roots of that plant. So I'm glad I was able to preserve most of the important parts. All the fish are doing just fine. There's a lot of shrimp down in there, and sitting in this corner they'll get plenty of light off that grow light. I'll probably have to move that around, do a little rearranging, and we'll see how that goes. I'll of course do that for the end of the video, but I've tied it in to my main air supply, which is coming out over here, right here on this little junction. And so that's what will give it some air. And so yeah, I'll fill it up with water, get the plants moved back in around it, and we'll come back in a minute and see how it turned out. Yeah, keep me cherry red. And here we are with everybody back inside and situated. Got the water all topped off. Had to go make dinner for the family there. But everything is looking good. It's been about 3 hours since I brought this inside. And you can see how the water has just cleared right up. There is mulm in this tub. which is kind of unusual for me and my system of doing things. But with the very low filtration, I clean that sponge filter sparingly. It's mainly for circulation, but the plants do most of the work. That creeping fig will probably go crazy over the next couple of months. It gets natural light out of this little window that's right there, which is dark outside right now, so it doesn't make sense, but in the daytime it'll do just fine. Now, for any of you folks that are wondering why that flower pot is in there with holes in it, I had a plant sitting on top of it when it was outside the first year, and I was just using it as a stand. But a lot of folks use the terracotta for its ability to grow beneficial bacteria, so I just left it in there. The fish and the snails and the shrimp seem to really love it. It's kind of just a little place they can go in and hide and swim through, and I feel like if there's any predators outside, they can kind of get in there and get away from them. Anyway, that's where we got it set. Got the plants kind of situated back around, and I'm not super happy with that, so I'll probably do a little bit more with it, but that's where she wound up. So as you see there, we got them in from the outdoors, got them situated back over here in the corner, ready for the winter time. They'll stay in here in November, December, January, February, March, and then we'll start thinking about getting them back outside. It's really a good way to keep your fish low energy. I made sure I'm running all mine off of a sponge filter, so it just takes a little bit of an air pump. I use the natural light outside. When I bring them back in, I'm just sticking them in a place over here near my plants where the grow lights will ambiently light that little tub and make it last all winter long. So thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate it. If you made it this far in my video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I sure would appreciate it. It means a whole lot. I sure do like making these videos for you guys. They're a whole lot of fun, and I really appreciate y'all watching them. So we'll see you next time.